What's up everyone, it's Mike Sherrard, and today I'm going to tell you guys the 5 things I did in order to allow me to make $120,000 in my very first year of real estate. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so as mentioned, my name is Mike Sherrard on social media, better known as the Purple Realtor, and I'm going to explain the 5 things I did in order to make $120,000 in my first year of real estate. And not only that, but in a city that I'm not from, in an industry I've never been around in, and using techniques that I've never learned anywhere but by teaching myself. So these are all things that you guys can do too to make that kind of 6-figure money in your first, second, third, whatever year of real estate you're in. If I can do it, I guarantee you can do it. So the first thing I did was prospecting. Me being young, I was 24 at the time, I was not from this city, I have no real estate experience, I have nothing educational wise about real estate. So I knew that I needed to prospect in order to get in front of as many people and potential clients as possible. I personally use a lot of door knocking, as that's what I became quite strong at, and I'll link a couple videos below on how to get started door knocking and what I did in order to stand out from the rest. But I also used cold calling. So prospecting was a big thing for me because it was the quickest and most effective way for me to personally get in front of as many people as I wanted and build face-to-face relationships as often as I wanted with as many people in whatever area I chose, whether it be luxury, a farm area, or a hot, high turnover area. So prospecting was big for me and allowed me to get about 50% of my listings. The second thing, which actually accounts for the second 50% of my listings, was social media. I had no social media experience. I had no Instagram account before even starting or getting my license. And I realized that in conjunction with prospecting was the most effective way to build my reach, grow my personal brand, and get in front of people and build up that local rapport so that my name can be pushed out there and I can start attracting people instead of always having to go out and put in the cold hard grunt work with things like old school prospecting. So I mainly used Instagram and Facebook and identified how I wanted to build my personal brand, which is number 3. So in conjunction with social media, personal branding was huge for me. If you guys go look at my social media channels, mainly Instagram, again, at the Purple Realtor, go give me a follow. That was what set me apart, by leveraging the color purple, the car, and creating this motivational drive and aspiration for others to follow. It built up my local presence very fast and allowed me to actually become a local influencer and start public speaking at places where many attended, which truly allowed my reach to grow like rapid wildfire. So if you guys aren't on social media, make sure you start putting a ton of focus on Instagram and Facebook. As you'll see in any videos like Gary Vaynerchuk, they all preach that right now in today's world is the absolute cheapest things like social media and Facebook marketing for realtors will ever be in history. It's only going to become more expensive. So I capitalized on that and did a ton of Facebook marketing, which allowed me to get massive amount of leads on a frequent basis to offset the longer term goals of the old school prospecting. So by doing some of the new school and blending it with some of the old school, I was able to create a very sustainable business model and grow quite quickly, more so than those that are lacking in both of those business aspects. The next thing was actually collaboration and networking. So many people think networking in a very old school way. Now they go to these meetups and they don't really get anything out of it because it feels very salesy and uncomfortable, and everyone's used to that style thing. But by leveraging my personal brand and building this status on social media, I was able to do a lot more collaboration. So I was collaborating with local influencers that had huge followings. I built strong relationships with these people so that I became well known in their space too. Now, one thing you'll notice is that if you go to a networking event, you might meet 20 people at best, personally. But if you start leveraging other local influencers through collaboration like I did, if they have an audience of 5, 10, 15, 20,000 on their social media and they start seeing content with both of us, if they like, know, and trust that person that is a local influencer and they start seeing them collaborating with myself, usually that trust is extended to me as well, because why else would they be working with me? So by collaborating with all these exciting people that are in my demographic or doing cool things that I admired, I was able to actually grow a huge audience organically, even though I was not from here and started with absolutely zero. So that's something that you can do in your own city as well. And the final thing, and the most important thing that many people fail with, and why so many agents fail in their first to third year, is accountability. So many people leave the corporate world, and that's a world where you are held accountable. You have a boss, you have to get your deliverables done, you are getting watched over by other people. And the thing that so many people struggle with in real estate is the fact that no one is keeping you accountable. So on those days you don't feel like door knocking, if you don't, no one says a thing. On the days you don't feel like cold calling, if you don't, no one can tell you otherwise. And so many people fail because at the end of the day, they're not doing the things they need to in order to build, grow, and establish their business. They're doing the things they want to, which ultimately leaves them falling behind and likely to fail. So me having strong accountability from day one was huge, because I knew I would do whatever it took in order to absolutely crush it in my first year of real estate, and I did by making $120,000 in my first year. So if you guys have any comments or questions about the 5 things that I just said, which are the personal branding, the collaboration, the prospecting, the branding, and the social media, please comment below and I will without a doubt answer you. Make sure you subscribe. I appreciate it as always, and we will see you guys next time. Cheers.